Hapiness Obadiah. I'm from Nigeria. I am a PhD student and a staff of Benue State University, Makurdi. I'm doing my PhD in parasitology, pure and applied parasitology in the same university. So I started my PhD in 2018, and I did an aspect in Nigeria already, the prevalence of sarcocystitis in goats, in cattle, and in pigs. And already I collected samples, tissue samples from these animals. I collected around 2,400 samples from the animals. Out of this at different times, like in rainy season and in the dry season. And so the samples I collected in the rainy season, I did histology, and then I discovered that there were cysts there, the microcysts, and then I also discovered some macrocysts. And then we needed to know what these cysts were, because in Nigeria, there's not much work done on this parasite, sarcocystitis. So we did the histology, and then we found these cysts, and the veterinarians helped us identify them as sarcocystitis, but we needed to know what species they were. And so I started looking for a place where I can do this aspect, which is the molecular aspect, where they can be identified to species level. And so I started searching the internet. I checked the recent publications, and then I found a particular paper that was published not too long ago in 2018, sorry. And then I contacted one of the authors, and then she informed me that there's an active research going on in Inter at the moment concerning the parasite. And so I contacted, and she sent me an email address, and then I contacted the person, and it's Monica. And then so we made arrangements. I got funds from the federal government. It's called TED Fund, as Tertiary Education Trust Fund. So Monica gave me an acceptance letter, and then I used it to apply for the funds, and I got the funds, and then I prepared, and now I'm here. Like there's this MOU that has been signed between the university, the Benue State University, and Inter. So with that relationship, we're hoping that we would in future write a proposal and use it to get grants so that we can continue the studies on sarcocystitis, because in Nigeria, there's no much work going on there. In fact, there's almost nothing, especially in Benue State. And we really need to know if the meat we consume every day is endangered, like we are in danger of contacting diseases from these animals, and perhaps there may be other kind of parasites that have not been worked on, and so we can continue. So we hope that we're going to write a proposal, and then we use it to get funds, and then we continue with the work. And already I have some of my samples I came here with, and we're not able to work exhaustively with them because the initial experiment we carried out, only a few of them, a few of the samples amplified. So there's need for more work to be done on the rest of the samples. And we hope that in future we can continue the work. So yes, we obtained a document from the Ministry of Agriculture, where I gave a description of what the samples were. Okay, already I actually extracted DNA from the samples. So I didn't just send the samples, I extracted DNA in a lab in Nigeria, and then I contacted the Ministry of Agriculture, and then they told me how they asked me to describe the nature of the samples I wanted to send. And I did everything, met all the conditions, got all the necessary documents, and then they gave me a permit. And then I also contacted Monica, who also obtained permit from Argentina to allow me bring them into the country. So that was what we did. And then, okay, I sent a batch by post, and I also attached the same document and sent them ahead of me. And then I obtained another one for the batch I came along with. So I had them in my luggage, and then they were checked and everything was fine. So there was no problem. before I came, I contacted the Argentine consular in Nigeria and told them about my intention to travel to Argentina for this program. And then they asked me to give them certain documents, which I contacted Monica, and then she got those documents for me from Inter, and then she sent them over to me, and I used them, and there was no problem at all. Everything was accepted. Everything was genuine. It was okay. And then I was granted the visa. In fact, at a very short time. I didn't even expect it at the time they asked me to come over for the visa. So everything was fine. There was no problem. The immigration at the airport, everything was clear. And then I came smoothly and settled down to work. And I checked into an apartment, the Casa de Lili. Yes, so Monica told me it's a place where people who visit Inter, usually lodge and all that. So I was there. I've been there, and the place is okay. It's fine. And the host there is a very nice person. Although I don't speak Spanish, but she speaks mostly Spanish, but we're able to cope, with the app. When she really needs to pass an information to me, we would use the app, and then she speaks, and then he interprets. I speak and he interprets, and with that, we're fine. So I have been, well, comfortable. I don't have any problem. Generally, there's no problem. Yes, even though I was very busy and I was mostly thinking about how to go about my work to understand what I was doing. And so I was always wanting to use the weekends to do that. I still had time to honor some invitations by friends. And then we were out in Buenos Aires. We visited one or two places. I may not be able to remember perfectly the names of the places, but I remember a place in Palermo where we went to see we went to the botanical garden and the zoological garden and some other things around there. We walked a lot that day. Yes.
Yeah.
Remember their names, but yes, I was able to go around a little bit. Sorry, I cut it. I was just excited to answer that. Yes, the food, like back home, the food here, the eating system here is completely different from Nigeria. And even the type of food is completely different. I came here and I didn't see anything familiar. I didn't see familiar food. But I was able to cope because I tried the food and I enjoyed them. Actually, the kind of foods that are eaten here in Nigeria are categorized in the snack side. Like they're like snacks. Like you eat them before you get to the main meal. But here they're like the main meal. And I find that interesting because it helped me to lose a lot of weight. Our food there makes you really heavy and then you sleep a lot and you lazy around. But with this food here, they make me feel very, very light. And since I came here, I've lost weight. I don't know if it's visible for other people to see if I've lost weight, but I feel it. And then I do a lot of exercise here as well. Like I have to take a walk in the morning to go for the interbus. To take the interbus, I have to walk. And that walk has also been helpful. There are times when I feel very weak and all of that, but I know that the walks helped me a lot. And then the food too was just okay for me. I didn't react well at first. With the cheese, I had issues because I was thinking I was intolerant with cheese and milk and all of that. But it was just a period of adjustment because I didn't stop eating. I just continued because I wanted to understand what's going on in my system because of the change of food and all that. But it was fine. And now I can eat cheese and nothing happens. So I enjoyed the food and everything that all the experiences I've had here. Yeah, it's worth it. The people too have been really nice to me. Like almost everybody I meet wants to help me with one thing or the other. So, and then they always ask, do you need something? Do you need anything? And sometimes I do need something and they help me. So the people too have been very, very nice. And especially the people I've been working with here in the lab, they have been very, very helpful. they understood that I didn't have any experience about these things from where I'm coming from. And they were willing to help, even when they are very busy doing their own work. They would leave their work to attend to me. They have been very patient. And also, Monica has been wonderful. I don't know what to say, but yeah, are definitely going to be published. In fact, already we have a manuscript going on, and then we already also have sent an abstract from a part of the work to an international conference coming up in New York. The abstract has been accepted for poster presentation virtually because I will not be able to attend the conference. So that is part of it. And then the ongoing manuscript we are going to, we hope to publish it. And the information we have gotten from this work is going to be very, very helpful because in Nigeria, especially in Makurdi, the city where I live, the pork has this cyst, a lot of it. And these people eat them, they feel it's part of the meat. In fact, they gave it a pleasant name, like seeds of meat, something like that. And it makes them comfortable to consume them because they don't know if I don't know. But you know, like when you go to the hospitals, you hear lots of complaint about diarrhea cases, very, very common. And we don't know if it's as a result of this cysts they consume, because they consume a lot of it. If you go to the market, on the table, you see pork, you can see the cyst very, very visible, you know, and then it's nothing. They just consume them and go. And so it was one of those cysts that I came here with, and we discovered that that particular cyst is Sarcocystis sui hominis, which is a zoonotic parasite. And so this information is going to be very, very helpful. And so we will advise people to be careful with the meat they consume and how they handle the meat that they consume. In fact, recently my supervisor over there, he asked us to write a proposal, and I I advised that the PhD students we have there, we can, because sometimes the PhD students come and they are not very sure what they want to do. So we can tell them about this research, and then like there will be some kind of training, and then with time they could even get to come over here and do these things themselves, because in the university there is no molecular biology lab. There's no lab. We only have what it takes to collect the parasites. Like we can just go to the field, get the parasites, preserve them, and then maybe try to extract DNA in the lab. There we can just maybe manage some equipment and try to extract DNA. But PCR and the rest of it, nothing. So we're hoping that with time, if this collaboration works out, um, PhD students would come over for further studies, because everything is, at least we're able to work, so we have everything here.